Now, images of King Charles are on a new 50p coin and they've been released today and will enter circulation in December. And as Britain, under our new monarch, gets underway, a new book is hoping to give us real insight into our new king and his Queen Consort, Camilla. Royal biographer Angela Levin joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Angela.
Good morning.
It's such an interesting book, and I think you truly felt compelled to write this book about Camilla because you knew her, you thought she had been misrepresented throughout the years, and you wanted to give your version of events almost.
Yeah, that's spot on, actually. And I decided that somehow I had to rebalance things. One was the crown, which I felt had been really cruel to her, and the other was actually Prince Harry, who'd said really nasty things about her too. And so I decided that it shouldn't be just me saying, actually, I spent some time with her. In 2015, I spent about 3 months with her to write a long piece. I need to have people who really know and will give me their names, and they don't say, keep me anonymous, because then you never know if it's really true. If they, somebody close to them, who could that be? It could be you. Mm-hmm. So I contacted loads of people, and an enormous number of them were very happy to talk to me, and they also said, no, I didn't have to keep their names silent. So I've got people who worked for her, friends for years, ex-staff, people who run lots of charities, because what she does, she's not somebody who likes to be in the spotlight, right in the middle, which is ideal for Charles, so he doesn't get jealous like he did with his first wife, but who does a tremendous amount of work behind the curtain. She doesn't need praise for herself. She feels very strongly. And what she has done is things that the royal family don't necessarily do, that to deal with rape, to deal with domestic violence, all those things, and also literacy, which she feels is really important. And she goes around the country helping families, especially families who've had a lot of difficulty in their life, to encourage them to get their children to read. And she does it with fun. You know, they could be on a bus with because of her position, she can ask the authors to come along and actually make fun and tell the children and get them to read one of their stories. And I think that's worked really well. She's had tremendous success of that. Her book club began in the pandemic, and where people were at a loss to know what to do all the time. And so she's built up a very good number of people who now are reading who perhaps wasn't.
Beforehand. It does feel like she's in a good place now, and certainly King Charles feels like he's started his reign in as good a place as he could be. It obviously hasn't always been plain sailing, and certainly in the early days of their relationship, a lot of people disliked Camilla, I think mainly because they had loved Diana so much, and that was always going to be a very difficult time.
Yeah, well, they met, Prince Charles then was 22, she was 24. They got on extremely well, but he was not sure at that age that he wanted to commit himself, but also he knew there would be trouble with his parents, because then, and it shows how much things have changed, the wife of the heir to the throne had to be a virgin, and she also had to come from aristocratic background. Her background was aristocratic, but not at the highest level, and she had had other relationships. So he knew that they wouldn't accept that, which, looking back now, seems sort of ridiculous,
doesn't it?
And no longer exists.
Very much from another time, isn't it? Tell me about the time she introduced you to the Queen.
Yeah, well, that was really funny. I was at home. I got a phone call from Buckingham Palace saying, was I doing anything in the afternoon, because the Duchess would like to meet me at Buckingham Palace. So obviously drop everything, rush over there. And they said, well, she's got a surprise for you, but it might not happen, so don't be upset if it doesn't. OK. Then I said, you know, what is it? They said, well, you just have to wait and see. It's a big surprise. And then they said, we'll know in 10 minutes whether you're going to get the surprise or not. I didn't know what it was, really. Chocolate or I don't know. Anyway, she arrived, you know, she shook hands. I practiced my curtsy already, so I knew how to do that. And the Queen arrived. and she introduced me to the Queen, and she said, come on in, we're going to look at something amazing. So I walked into the Buckingham Palace stables, and there they were there was a man called Monty Roberts, who was he could talk to horses and tell them what to do. And the idea was that in 20 minutes he could get a horse that had never been ridden, never had a saddle, okay for somebody to ride. And I thought that would be not on. But the idea of it was that they were talking non-stop and laughing, because they both adore horses, adored, I should say, for the late Queen. And they just loved talking about horses. And I thought afterwards this was a very clever and kind thing to do, so that I could see for myself how she got on with the Queen, because there'd been so many things that the Queen didn't like her and all that. But this way, she didn't have to say anything. She didn't have to say something that wasn't appropriate. I could watch and see how natural they were, and how the Queen was so excited by this, because he did manage to get it right. And she was absolutely thrilled. And we all stood round asking him lots of questions as to how he did it. I think he's in his late 80s now.
Yeah.
But it was an extraordinary thing. And I thought to myself, I can't imagine anybody else doing that, to make my life easier, so I've got something that I can really say positively.
Yeah, of course. Well, look, we've clearly only touched the surface. There's so many anecdotes, stories, relationships in the book, Angela, and it's, as I say, it's an interesting insight into someone we know but don't know, and I guess we'll get to know her a bit more, certainly in the weeks and months and years to come. But
the more you get to know her, the more you like her, actually.
Yeah,
I found.
Well, Angela's new biography, Camilla, From Outcast to Queen Consort, is out now. Thank you so much, Angela. It's lovely to see you this morning. Thank you.
Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub, and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.